right, so I promised I would go ahead and reveal what I was going to do with this pitcher. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all how I make my Summer Sangria recipe. So this is my first time using this lovely insulated Stanley Pitcher. And the sangria that I like to make is actually a strawberry peach citrus sangria. It comes out really good. I kind of got inspiration because I was at a restaurant one time and they had a strawberry pear sangria. And it was so good that I'm like, I gotta figure out how to make this on my own. But I couldn't find pear brandy, which I know they used in the recipe. But I found this lovely peach brandy and I used it and I'm like, it's great. So I'm gonna do strawberry peach citrus and show you guys how I make that. So what you're gonna need if you wanna make this takes 1 orange, 1 lemon, and then strawberries, obviously, about a cup of strawberries. Make sure that they are cleaned. Make sure all of your fruit is actually clean. I know a lot of people think, oh, fruit like orange and lemons, because of the way you use them, you don't necessarily have to wash them off. It's always a good idea to wash off all of your fruit, and especially because these are going to have the peel on them when they go into the sangria, so you want to make sure they're all clean. And same with your strawberries, obviously. The strawberries, I didn't want to bore you chopping those, so I already pre-chopped them. You just make sure that the stems are off. You can slice them long way, and that's it. And then you're going to need a dry white wine. So I use Sauvignon Blanc. This is just dark horse. I'm not really picky about brands. It was on sale, so this is what I use. I also use this to cook with, so it's just kind of easy because I usually have it on hand. And then this is the E&J Peach Brandy. So with sangrias, people kind of use different things in terms of their harder alcohol that they put in. Some people omit it completely. I like to have a little bit of a punch in my sangria. But you can either use a brandy, some people use rum, just really your choice with that. But yeah, this is gonna step it up a notch. So if you don't want that, then leave it out. But the peach flavored brandy is delicious. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend you try it. So let's get started. Oh, and then the last thing you're gonna need, which I don't have out right now because you don't use it until the end, is usually you want some sort of citrus drink, so like a lemon lime soda, some people say, or you can add sparkling water if you don't want soda. I like to use Sprite, but you're gonna need about 4 cups of that. So, all right, let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice my lemon, but I'm gonna thinly slice it. So just thinly slicing it. You don't really want thick slices in there, but it gives this nice flavor. And obviously take your seeds out as you're doing this. So you use 1 whole lemon. You can do, if you don't have an orange per se, if you don't have an orange, say, you just have lemon on hand, you can do 2 lemons. You just won't get that kind of mixture of citrus flavor. But I like to do a combination of a lemon and an orange. I think it's nice to have something breaking up. And you can use those thin slices. You just want to make sure you're not getting thick slices. And it's also good to get your orange. Part of the reason that you slice it thin like this is to make sure you don't miss any lemon seeds. So all of those seeds are coming out, because you don't want to be drinking your sangria or sharing it with friends and have somebody, choke on a seed. So just get it nice and thin. This lemon has lots of seeds. And it just gives it that nice tangy taste. Just making sure that I get all these seeds out. And the size of your lemon doesn't really matter a whole lot. I mean, obviously, this is gonna sit for a bit, so you're gonna get that good citrus tangy flavor as well. And of course, if you wanna make your sangria a little bit more sweet, if you prefer a sweet sangria, you could either leave the lemon out or leave one of the citrus elements out. The other thing you can do is you can add an apple. A lot of people like to add apples to their sangrias, but for me, I like my strawberries. I should also mention this is also why I'm not adding anything like another kind of sweet element other than the peach brandy, is because my strawberries are really ripe, and so they're going to be really sweet. These were freshly picked strawberries that we picked like a week ago. So they're gonna be very, very sweet. If you can't see here, they're very red, very juicy. So this is gonna have a good amount of sweetness to it. And then your oranges, you don't have to slice as thin as your lemons, but still a good idea to kind of get them thinner, but you're slicing, that's it. And we're just about done. I'm not gonna put the ends in, I don't really like to, but I try to get as close to try to use as much of it as I can. There we go. Okay. So then, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put all of this in my lovely pitcher. All of that goes in there. Now, the Stanley pitcher is 64 ounces. So first, before I scoop all of that out, scoop all these strawberries, and I'm gonna get rid of all these seeds. Okay. So again, this is a 64 ounce pitcher. We're gonna use the entire bottle of wine. So we're gonna see what we can actually fit in this baby, because you use about half a cup of brandy. Of course, you can up it a notch if you're feeling brave. I, however, know my limitations. So you're gonna then take your wine here, and we're just gonna pour the whole bottle. So a standard bottle of wine is about 750 milliliters. That's how much you need. I'm just gonna pour that all over our fruit. So your fruit goes in first. Then you have your bottle. There you go. It's gonna be cutting it close. I'm telling you right now. I can just see with this pitcher, because of the amount of fruit, it's probably gonna be cutting it close. So I'll probably half the amount of Sprite I add when I do add the Sprite. But if you have a bigger pitcher, go ahead and add the 4 cups. So let's see here. That's one limitation I'm seeing already with the Stanley pitcher, is that I could use it a little bit bigger. Keep in mind, this comes in a set that has beer pints, so I imagine most people use it for beer. I am not a beer drinker. That's why I wanted to see how I can do my sangria in it. So then we're gonna add half a cup of brandy. Oh, it smells so good. Like every time I open a bottle of this, the smell is heavenly. Like it kind of makes you wanna, yeah, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that right now. And it's 2 o'clock here. I'm not drinking right now.
It's close to 3.
All right, so we're gonna get our half a cup. Let's go a little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. Half a cup. All right. And that's it. You can stir it if you want. I'm gonna actually grab a utensil here and just give it a little stir. One thing to note too is that if you're serving this like at a party, all of this fruit, like it's gonna sit in here right now, of course, and get mixed. But this is also the fruit you would use to serve in your cups, in your drinks, when you're serving your sangria. Oh, it smells so good. Like this, it smells so heavenly. That's why I love this, and it just makes me feel summer. Like I love to make this because it just, you smell it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm in it. Okay. And then we're gonna put the lid on, and we're gonna stick this in the fridge for about 4 to 5 hours. I mean, depending on when you're making it, you can let it sit overnight. I'm gonna go do my stuff for the day, and then I'm gonna have some of this at night. All right, so we'll check back in 4 or 5 hours. All right, so full disclosure, we had some technical difficulties when I pulled this out last night. So I'm shooting it again for your benefit, just so you can see what to do. So I actually, when I did mix the rest, again, this pitcher, and this is something to note, when you have a whole bottle of wine and all the fruit that you need to make a really good sangria, it cuts it close. So I had only put 2 cups in here when I would normally do 4 of Sprite, or any soda that you want, like more of like Sprite 7-Up flair. And you definitely want the extra, you want the full 4 cups of Sprite. So when I made this last night and tried it, I actually added some Sprite to my wine tumbler here. But since now I have a little bit of room in my pitcher, I'm gonna go ahead and add those last 2 cups, because I'm telling you, with the 4 cups, it's just yummy. The other thing to make sure you're doing is that make sure you're not using flat soda, because flat soda will ruin this. It doesn't give it that, a good sangria has like a nice kind of, a little bit of a fizz to it. Even if you're using the sparkling water, again, just make sure it's not flat. It just has a nice like little, it adds just a little zip. All right. So that's all mixed. And there's a lot of fruit in here. So I'm gonna take some fruit first. When you're serving this, what you wanna do is put your fruit in here. Put a couple pieces of fruit. I'm gonna grab a lemon slice now too. And then you would just go ahead and pour your sangria over it. And so at this point, this has been sitting overnight. When I tried it last night, it was perfect. Like I said, just needed the extra 2 cups of Sprite. And again, when you actually make this, you'll use this whole bottle. This is a 1-liter bottle. You would use this whole bottle. And you can see it looks like a nice peachy strawberry sangria. It's beautiful. All right. Oh. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I'm just gonna tell you right now, with the brandy, if you're day drinking, just make sure you don't got anything else to do. You don't have anything else to do, because it's good. It's really good. It goes down almost like juice. It's very smooth, but it has a punch, because you do have that brandy in there. You do have the wine, obviously. Yeah, it has a little punch, and I'll tell you, I'm a lightweight. I mean, don't let the size fool you. I'm a lightweight, so this is probably gonna put me out for a minute. But there you have it, nice summer sangria. As far as the pitcher, it's a good pitcher. Obviously nice and cold. It's a little small for if you're doing this for a party or anything like that. So that's the only thing I would say is that I'm a little surprised about the size of the pitcher, considering it's a beer pitcher. I feel like if you have, you know, 6 people, you're going to be filling this up a lot. So maybe they need to look into, you know, upping the size, because this is only, the pitcher is the same size as a 64-ounce quencher. The new jugs that they make, like the new quencher jugs that they've made, it's the same size. So I'd say they could probably up the size a little bit here on this pitcher. Otherwise, can't complain anything else about it. That's all I got for you. I'm gonna enjoy this. Have a good one.